Conservatism is centered around preserving traditional values, particularly in Western culture. Supporters often emphasize the importance of the nuclear family, organized religion, military strength, and protecting property rights. Liberalism, often considered the dominant ideology in modern times, values individual rights, governmental approval by the people, and equal treatment under the law. It typically supports free markets, multi-party elections, separation of powers, and a clear division between religion and government. Additionally, liberal principles advocate for constitutional protections of privacy, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and religious freedom. Moderates tend to align with views within the Overton window, a range of politically acceptable beliefs. They often remain neutral or have mild political opinions while maintaining a basic understanding of political systems. Capitalism is an economic model based on private ownership of production systems with the goal of generating profit. Key features include private property, voluntary trade, competitive markets, specialization of labor, and cooperative economic activity. Socialism encompasses various systems that promote public or worker ownership of production resources. Traditional socialism advocates for cooperative workplaces, democratic self-management, and fair distribution of wealth. In contemporary settings, it often involves policies like progressive taxation, nationalized industries, and robust public services. Syndicalism is a branch of socialism that supports labor unions as a means to achieve societal change. Through collective action, including strikes and protests, syndicalists aim to dismantle capitalist structures and replace them with worker-controlled industries. Eventually, they propose forming councils to manage economic sectors. Corporatism suggests organizing society based on economic sectors, where individuals work within industries suited to their skills and interests. Unlike systems dominated by large corporations, it seeks collaboration between workers, employers, and the state to ensure fair economic management. Libertarianism prioritizes individual freedom and limited government control. Similar to liberalism, it supports personal rights and economic liberty, focusing on self-governance and the protection of life, liberty, and property. Separatism, also known as secessionism, involves movements seeking independence by forming new nations or governments apart from an existing state. Communism proposes a system of collective ownership, where resources are distributed based on need rather than wealth. In a communist society, private property, social class divisions, and monetary systems are eliminated. The goal is to create a classless and stateless society. Feminism advocates for gender equality across political, economic, and social spheres. It challenges gender-based discrimination, stereotypes, and systemic inequality. Feminists strive to enhance opportunities and promote fair treatment for all genders. Anarchism rejects centralized authority and hierarchical control. Supporters aim to build voluntary, cooperative societies without governments. Anarchist movements often emphasize self-governance and individual freedom. Environmentalism focuses on protecting nature and promoting sustainable policies. It encourages actions like reducing pollution, conserving resources, and addressing climate change. Many environmentalists advocate for renewable energy and responsible waste management. Populism revolves around appealing to the general population by addressing their concerns. It often positions itself against the elite or established authorities, promoting the belief that the government should prioritize the interests of ordinary people. Populist movements can emerge from various political backgrounds. Republicanism supports a political system without monarchies, where citizens elect representatives to govern. It values civic participation and the protection of individual rights within a republic. Progressivism champions societal growth and reform, valuing advancements over the preservation of tradition. Progressives often advocate for social justice, scientific progress, and inclusive governance. Imperialism historically involved expanding a nation's influence through military, political, or economic means. Though less common today, it was once widely justified by the belief that stronger nations brought progress to weaker regions, often overlooking the harm caused to local populations. Egalitarianism promotes equality for all individuals, supporting equal rights and opportunities regardless of social status. It opposes discrimination and advocates for policies that reduce systemic inequalities. Transhumanism embraces the use of advanced technologies to enhance human capabilities and overcome physical and mental limitations. Advocates believe in using science to extend lifespan, improve cognitive abilities, and ultimately achieve human longevity. Communitarianism emphasizes the collective well-being of communities, believing that individual interests should sometimes be secondary to the common good. It encourages cooperation across political ideologies to address societal challenges. Authoritarianism involves centralized power with limited political freedoms. In such governments, leaders often suppress opposition, control public discourse, and restrict civil liberties. Classic monarchies and military regimes frequently adopt authoritarian systems. Fascism supports centralized authoritarian rule, often led by a single party or dictator. It promotes nationalism, militarism, and strict social hierarchies. Dissent is typically suppressed, and personal freedoms are sacrificed for the perceived benefit of the nation. Nazism is a form of fascism characterized by extreme racism and the belief in Aryan supremacy. It promoted violent persecution of those deemed inferior, including Jewish people, disabled individuals, and other marginalized groups. Eugenics, the idea of selectively breeding humans to achieve racial purity, was a core aspect of Nazi ideology.